All right, welcome in there, Art. We got a fun little video project for you guys and having to do with 1 point perspective. Perspective today is the trick skill that we are going to be working on.
To this, a couple things that you'll need is a pencil. I would recommend starting out with. Definitely some kind of ruler or straight edge to make some of those lines really, really nice.
So first thing I'm going to do is add a horizon line. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be in the middle. You can kind of play with it up or down, but I like it to be kind of right in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to try my best here. Okay, as you got that in the middle of the page, you need to put a dot or some sort of mark in the middle of what is going to be your vanishing point. Your vanishing point will be where buildings and all the things and stuff will go and disappear and vanish into that little perspective point. From that point, the easiest thing to do is draw a line that goes from that corner right to the vanishing point. So I kind of put my pencil there and then match it up with the corner and go all the way out there nice, and right to the other side, same thing. Fantastic, it already starting to look like a road in there. So yeah, this is gonna kind of be the road, this will be kind of the ground and the sky right above here. Okay, the first thing you need to understand is whatever kind of buildings or structures that
you do, whatever buildings below this horizon line here,
you're gonna see the top of the building. Whatever buildings that are above that horizon line, you will not see the top of that building. I'll show you a couple examples. My kids that have done this in the past. So like you can see all the buildings below that horizon line, you can see the top of the building because your eye like looking down. But if they are above that horizon line, you will not see the top of them. You'll see kind of looking up. So as long as you get and kind of understand that concept, there's a couple different ways and things and projects that you can do with that, but as long as you kind of get that simple concept of above and below the horizon line. And I always try to challenge my kids like to stay away from like right around the horizon line.
You start putting buildings really close to that horizon line, it gets a little confusing on your eye.
Sometimes I have my kids even get out a practice sheet of paper and just to kind of draw that basic kind of 3D shape, always keeping that front part or the one that's facing you flat, whether it's a tall building or a smaller one, that shape is always gonna be the flat one. Depending on where it's gonna go, the sides have to all be parallel. So they all have to be kind of going that same direction, even if it's to the right or if it's to the left. They
all three corners, outside edges, have to be going towards that same direction. I think that will help wherever, say if your vanishing point's over here, they all have to point kind of towards that. And I think that will help.
At least for the sides. So now when you end it is the same way that you started it. So if it starts with a line that goes up and down, you gotta end it with a line that goes up and down. If you started it with a straight or horizontal line, then in the back, it's gotta be a horizontal line also.
If it has a vertical line on the side, it has to end with a vertical line. And hopefully as you practice this and doing just some random shapes and sizes on here, you'll start to get the idea and concept for the building.
So I usually have them practice that a little bit, then we can move on to our city or our buildings. So right down here, I'm gonna do kind of a smaller one over here. As I start, I'm not gonna use a ruler. I'm just gonna kind of freehand it. You can, that's up to you. I'm gonna start out lightly though. I would say usually when I have my kids do like a value scale, I would say this is probably like a 1 or a 2. I don't wanna do like a 9 or a 10 darkness with my pencil. I wanna do it nice and light. So I'm gonna do like a box over here. So we can start out with that. Would be a nice shape for a box. And then the closest corners will go towards that vanishing point. So I know that 1, 2, 3, these all go to that vanishing point. However long, you could have a longer building, you could have just a skinny building, but whatever those corners have to go to that vanishing point. Okay, there, I got that looking pretty good. I'm pretty confident with that. So now again, to stop it, as long as I started it with an up and down or vertical line, I have to end it with a vertical line also. So I'm gonna end it right there on the top. If the top has a horizontal line, that has to be ended also with a horizontal line. So now it kind of looks like it's set in place. I like that one. So let's do a tall one over here then. Okay, so now those three closest corners, so 1 and 2, this one you're not gonna see because now it's above, so it's still gotta go to the vanishing point, but you won't see that because it's going through the building. But that top one you would see going down, and this one you'd see going towards there. That one ended with a vertical line, so I gotta end this one with a vertical line as well. There you go.
Be good on that side, and then I can fill in with a couple of more, just remembering that same technique or that same strategy. I usually challenge my kids to get about 10 buildings, but easy as this, I could always split this building now in half, so it could be 2 little buildings. I could have a tall one, I could have some small ones, or I can keep on going up and
up. So I'm gonna fill that in really quick. All right, so there you see I got a little bit more of an idea. I'm kind of setting up my composition. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I only got 8 buildings, so how I can change that or fill in more, I could always add a couple more down on this side, but like I was doing before, I like to kind of split some of these up.
So this will kind of be a thinner one here, and a thinner one here. You have kind of that same idea or concept, even if it's a little bit thin on here.
And you don't quite see. You can see as I get closer to that horizon line, it gets a little bit tricky, but now I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got at least 10, and I could probably do like 5 more on some of these bigger ones down here. So I'm gonna leave this like this. I'm gonna kind of clean up some of my lines and start to put some detail and design on here. Some windows and all sorts of little designs on my buildings to make it look a little bit more realistic and authentic in there. So let's have some fun. All right, as we're cruising along, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That's the easiest way to get all my free fun videos coming out every single week. Now let's get back to our perspective. All right, bam, there it is. Did the whole background up, went with more kind of like a grayscale and just shading with a little bit of my pen in ink.
With my super skinny Sharpie on here today. Just threw some different values. There's a whole bunch of different ideas and examples that you can do with
A little bit of a challenge. I haven't done perspective for a while, but once you've done it, you kind of remember that skill forever and ever. So hopefully you guys had as much fun as me. As always, this is Mr. Schuette's art class. I am Mr. Schuette, and we'll talk to you guys later.